First and foremost, it's difficult to condense a nearly two-year investigation into just a couple of minutes that we have to spend with you today. But we're going to provide you those details and insights. And our focus has been and was for the entire duration of the investigation on those 10 deaths of those individuals. We learned, as you all learned, that those deaths were caused and declared by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Science, death by compression asphyxia, with the manner being ruled an accident. We come before you today with a thorough and complete investigation of these last 2 years of reviewing all those details. So today, without further ado, we're going to show you a few presentations to give you a few of those key facts and insights that we uncovered during this investigation. Please hold your questions till the very end. So, as we went through this, much of our investigation focused on the main stage area. This area, this little cross here, that is where the main stage where Travis Scott, the headliner performer on this stage, performed. We broke up this into sections. We have Quadrant 1, which is General Admission, VIP Quadrant 2, General Admission Quadrant 4, and General Admission Quadrant 3, with a center chute going down the middle and another that crosses over it. Back here we have a media section reserved only for cameramen and people operating camera equipment. And then there's a viewing field and overflow field for all the other concert attendees who were not able to get to the front. There's also a wheelchair access ramp, house where a lot of the media and the sound and the special effects were operated from, and a variety of other areas. Our attention further focused into General Admission Quadrant 3. This is where we determined, after video review of our and witness statements, that all 10 deaths occurred within this quadrant. There you have the square footage of that quadrant and the surrounding areas. But our focus honed in on this quadrant for a variety of reasons. One of the key contributing factors to the deaths was the overpopulation and resulting compaction in this quadrant, or Quadrant 3. Just to be clear, this was not a crowd stampede. This was not a stage rush. This was not a crowd surge. This was a slow compaction or constriction into this quadrant, resulting in collapses within the crowd that covered a very small area in this overall large footprint. One of the key causes for that compaction we've determined was in the early hours prior to the show even beginning. Prior to the Travis Scott show, which was set to go on at 9 o'clock, we have there 9:02 is when he officially started. Prior to that, hours before that, a large gathering of participants and concert goers were already in place at stage 1 in all different quadrants. So it was very loaded, very packed, very anticipated event to see the lead performer. Everyone was already present. Meanwhile, stage 2, down here at the bottom of the screen, at 8:42 hours, SZA was the last show at that concert. This then resulted in the remaining participants in this show to move across this area and over into the viewing area that was already held with people. At which point this area became even more crowded, leading to further compaction. Now, let me also remind you with a disclaimer. My partner and I, we are not crowd science experts, but during the course of this investigation, we have obtained knowledge and understanding and key terminology that helps us explain and put to words what we were observing through all the footage that we reviewed and all the statements that we received. One of those terms include things like shock waves, which can be defined as areas in the crowd that move involuntarily like waves. And this is an indicator that there are too many people occupying that space. We also use the term often in this investigation, crowd pockets, not to be confused with mosh pits, which is common for this type of performance. A crowd pocket is an area where the crowd has succumbed to pressure leading to an isolated collapses within the crowd. I'll now demonstrate in a quick video clip what a surge shockwave looks like. This is before the show even began. This is in the General Mittens Quadrant 1. Nobody died in this area, but this is just to demonstrate what was going on in certain areas of the concert. Here we have what we call crowd pockets. You might be able to see, it's kind of hard to distinguish. There are dark circles, and those are not mosh pits. Those are, in fact, areas where crowds have collapsed in on each other. And also note that even mere feet away, concert goers were not able to distinguish what was happening at their feet. These are very isolated pockets throughout the crowd within that General Mittens Quadrant 3. Here's to show you a few vantage points. This is long after the event took place. This is a vantage point from the stage. You'll see here, this is General Mittens Quadrant 3, where the deaths occurred. And this is Quadrant 4. Again, a closer up of General Mittens Quadrant 3. Here's the night of the show, perspective from the stage looking out over into that crowd with all the lights and all the smoke and everything going on. This is what perhaps a performer like such as Travis Scott would have seen that evening. Here's the perspective and vantage point if you were on the ground walking into the main chute of the pits in between those general mission quadrants. This is that main chute where medical and the cameramen and officers and security were able to go across. Also very crowded. And again, here is what the perspective would be if you're a concert goer with your head just above the crowd, just looking out over into the sea of people that were at this concert. I'm going to turn the time over to my partner, Detective Kate, to explain this timeline synopsis.
Thank you.